Okay, so there we go. It looks like Jackson's about to commit this play. He hasn't done it yet. He might be thinking about, do I really want to give him a place to play this cue? And he does. Josh needs to play this fast. The time is coming into play here. There it is. QUEY. He plays it with 1 second on his clock. What's going on?
So that's footage from a live stream series I recently played against Jackson Smiley. Jackson and I are North American co-champions, we're longtime friends, and we're certified Scrabble rivals. We've played each other like hundreds of times over the board, and we've gone across North America doing so. We are no strangers to each other's game. And yet, you never know what's in store for you when you shake hands with your opponent and reach into the tile bag once more. And something really strange happened in our final game. In fact, it was the final move of our final game.
The score I'm reading is 359 to 355.
Wow. Now, normally you would ask for a recount here, but I think they know that they counted correctly.
All right, let's back up. This isn't the first time I've gotten into a time scramble against Jackson on stream. And he beat me last time too, so I should have known better.
Veg might just not be enough. He might have calculated, he's picking it up, and he's going to play veg.
He's going to play veg, okay.
Good choice. Makes the game a little bit more complicated. And they're both down to under 30 seconds. Oh my gosh.
Nope.
He's changing it back to Peppo. Change it back to veg. Oh no.
What a game right now we're dealing with. Jackson can actually probably afford the 10 points.
Oh my
Maybe
gosh.
not.
And Rom comes down immediately. And Vug comes down immediately.
Come on,
I don't
Jackson,
even know the scores. I don't even know who's going to win. He writes down the blank.
Or is that an S or H?
It doesn't matter.
We don't know.
Who won?
I have no idea. This is crazy. I think Jackson might have won within 10 points.
Rom is a lot of points. Oh my gosh. And Jackson wins by 2.
In both games, I made a critical mistake, and upon recognizing this mistake, collapsed into a losing mindset. It was only hours later, after I'd shaken off the loss, that I came to a shocking realization. Okay, I'm kind of freaking out right now because I'm pretty sure that I blew game 5 against Jackson. Jackson won this series convincingly with a score of 4-1. In the first game, I won after Jackson tried to play a phony word on the first turn, never quite making it back into the game. In game 2, I talked myself out of a perfectly valid word and couldn't quite claw my way back into the game later on.
He has the valid bingo of omening available right here going down. 91 points on offer. The facial expression leads me to believe that he might be having some doubts in it.
Game 3 was the best played game of the series for both me and Jackson, but I made the first mistake and made a really stupid 4-point play in the middle of the game, whereas Jackson kept scoring way more than 4 points and ended up winning pretty convincingly. Game 4 was far from accurate on both sides. I made the first huge blunder by completely missing the word linearon on my rack.
Oh, that's a huge, huge miss.
And later, Jackson chickened out of the word dratted.
Jackson's holding 2 tiles right now.
Wow.
Now, it's often said that an athlete will perform their best when they are under the most pressure to do so. So at a 1-3 deficit, the series on the line, let's see how well I played.
Oh, no, he has another eye.
Oh, he had the other eye. It was
about to
obscured
play
on my
it.
screen. I'm sorry, obscured in my
I
view.
wonder
Wow.
if he should be playing AE there for that very reason that you're describing, Steph.
Yeah,
That
with
could be
2
really
E's.
interesting.
There were Were there two E's on the scene?
Yeah, at least one. Oh, and there is that
There
Q.
is.
That's going to be really difficult for Josh to shed here.
Ouch. In Game 5, I actually played very, very well until turn 13, when this happened. Once I drew the Q, I figured the game was probably over, but I tried desperately to set myself up to play it, to no avail. When we got to the endgame stage of the game, where both me and Jackson knew the letters on each other's racks, it was clear to both of us that I was stuck with the Q and therefore was not going to win the game. But still, the board was so closed that Jackson also needed to be careful not to stick himself with unplayable tiles. So that's why he ended up playing Wylam at the very end of the game, giving me a spot to play my Q. Jackson's calculation was that even though I was going to be able to play Quay for 16 points, once he played Lug for 4, he was going to win the game. But there's one huge problem with the play of Wylam, and before I realized that he was giving me a place to play my Q, I was actually considering another Q play. Not with the letter Q, but literally the letter Q. Q-U-E for 14. What this play does is it takes advantage of the math involved in ending a Scrabble game. If the game ends by one player playing the rest of their tiles when the bag is empty, then that player gets the equivalent of double the point value from their opponent's remaining tile. The rule is slightly different depending on where you are in the world, but the math is the same. On the other hand, if neither player empties their rack at the end of the game, both players have to subtract the face value of their tiles from their score. And the big problem with the play of Wylam is that it leaves absolutely nowhere for Jackson to play his G and his L unless I play off my Q. So after playing my E, my K, and my U off, the scores will be close enough that after I lose 10 points and Jackson 3, I will win the game by 8. Losing only 10 points for the unplayed Q rather than giving double the value of my Q to Jackson at the end of the game is the difference maker. I was so convinced that the heavy burden of being stuck with the Q was far worse than any other possible scenario that I didn't even consider not playing it when given the chance. Not only that, neither did anyone else. This was such a unique endgame that myself, Jackson, the commentators Will and Stefan, and everybody watching the games live all failed to recognize that Jackson had actually given me the game. And so naturally, I gave it back. So what should Jackson have done instead of Wylam? Isn't he still risking getting stuck with letters no matter what he does? Well, this is one of the most complicated endgames I've ever seen, and there are probably hundreds of lines to consider. But if Jackson had just dropped his M for Mark, that would have won him the game. Since the E and the Y really help Jackson find ways to get rid of all of his remaining letters, he should have no difficulty maneuvering the tough board that we were left with and winning the game after just dropping the M. Will Anderson has also made a video about this series, but neither me nor him are going to take a plunge into the deep end and try to decipher all of the complicated lines in this crazy, crazy endgame. But huge shout out to him, and also huge shout out to the hosts of this series, Let's Play Scrabble. The full VOD as well as the individual games are available on their YouTube channel if you want to take a look. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.